I guess to recap, for people who are just joining us, this was around 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, correct.
And that's when the call came in that there had been a shooting at Richneck Elementary in Newport News in the northern part of the city off Jefferson Boulevard between Jefferson and Denby, right off Jefferson Avenue. And we know that a teacher was transported to the hospital, Riverside Regional Medical Center, and that the person apparently who fired the shot is in police custody. All students are safe. We heard the police chief say that over and over and over. The first priority is making sure that as this news gets out, that the parents know that the students are safe. Reunification, that's going on right now. They have all the kids in the gym. Parents are lined up outside the door, as we just saw, and they are picking up their kids. You have to show a photo ID. It's quite a bit of traffic heading to that area. There's another mother holding her child. Yeah, quite a bit of traffic. First of all, it's rush hour, and there's a lot of traffic on Jefferson Avenue anyway, usually. Quite a bit of traffic in that area. And you can imagine that, with the rescue crews that came through and people slowing down to try to figure out what was going on, that was probably a backlog at some point. But right now, things are, and you can see how orderly it is. And this is what the police chief was talking about how the response was and how impressed he is with how the administrators, the school system, the staff there at the school, and the police came together and created a calm after clearly what was chaos.
Sure.
They were able to use their expertise and create that calm situation, letting the parents know that their kids were okay. And now they're very orderly, and it's very organized, as you can see there, getting their kids after clearly what has been a tragedy this Friday afternoon.
We cannot see how long that line is, and I do not know how many students are in that school, but that could be a process that takes some time, in that we can't see the end of that line, but surely the news that everything there is okay, meaning the students are safe, that those kids will be reunited with their families at some point this afternoon, perhaps early evening, we'll see, but it does seem like a very orderly line as people wait to be reunited with their kids. That's at the gym. If you're heading down there, once again, a reminder that that's the police chief right there, and that's the mayor. Janet, walking. All
right, yeah, the brand new mayor, Philip Jones, just elected, 33 years old, one of the youngest mayors actually in the country, and I don't even know if he has been sworn in yet. I think the swearing in is next week, but let's listen to what he has to say.
That everyone is safe, and that everyone is accounted for, and that we're going to make sure that the scene is safe. All right. It's been a long day for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, the children's safety is our top priority.
Mayor, are you familiar with this school?
I am.
You are? Okay. What do you know about it?
I know a lot about the school. I just want to reiterate the sort of 3 or 4 talking points that I mentioned in that order again, is that the police did an amazing job. They're here very, very quickly, along with the sheriff's office. We are ensuring that everyone is safe. We are ensuring that everyone is accounted for. They're going to be in the cafeteria right now, and people are being escorted out to their parents. We're going to have more information at a later time. I am on scene, as well as the rest of the council members. This is a unified effort with the school board members as well. It's a long day for Newport News, but we're going to ensure that everyone's taken care of. Okay, thanks so much, everyone.
All right, Newport News new mayor, Philip Jones, right there with the police chief on the scene. Certainly his first big challenge as a new mayor and a new politician as well. First office that he has been elected to. Grew up in Newport News and is now the mayor, and kind of reiterated some of the same things that the police chief said, that everyone is safe. And that the reunifications are going on right now, and that's what's most important. That is the priority. Having some counselors on the scene, securing the scene, and now the process will start in the investigation where police will get in there. They're probably in there at this point, processing exactly the scene and where this happened in the one location. The police chief saying earlier that there is evidence inside, and they of course will want to go over that meticulously so that all of the questions that people will begin to have, that they already have, can be answered as thoroughly as possible. Imagine if you're a parent, you're going to want to know, how did this happen? And you think in elementary school, some of the schools have metal detectors, but you wouldn't expect to see that at an elementary school.
That in itself is just difficult to wrap your brain around, but yet here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. We are in this moment. And I think the response by the mayor and I think the response by the police chief have been appropriate. The most important thing for this moment is to make sure that everyone is safe and secure there, and other things can be figured out from this point moving forward. But
all right, and that's John Ely and Curtis Bethany. They were also just elected to the city council.
Right.
That's walking with Philip Jones. So we have some other council people clearly on the scene as well. And Curtis Bethany, that is his district. He represents the northern district of Newport News, so we can understand why he probably rushed to the scene as well. John Ely represents the southern district, but at this point it doesn't matter what your district is. It's the city of Newport News, and you just pitch in and try to help.
yeah, everybody's Newport News at this particular point. There you see more parents being reunited with their children and heading for home. And that line, again, just keeps going and going. As that's the gym, we're told, that has been set up as the reunification center, where parents bring a photo ID to be reunited with their kids. And the process is that they're going grade by grade, starting with the youngest kids first. And just a little while ago, we heard from a concerned mom who had just picked up her child. And if let's listen to that one more time.
My heart stopped. I was freaking out, very nervous, just wondering, was that one person my son? But he's okay.
I was freaking out. Yeah, every parent was freaking out.
Yep.
Every parent was freaking out. You can understand. Ambulance leaving the scene, I'm assuming that was probably an extra rescue unit that they had there, because we know that the victim is in Riverside Regional Medical Center. Officers are also there. Some other officials are at the hospital waiting for an update. The police chief did mention that he wants to get an update on her condition as soon as possible. We're all hoping and praying that she will be able to recover. I mean, pray for her recovery.
And nothing that we have heard from the police chief or the mayor or anyone else in the last couple of minutes or so would indicate that anyone would be in that ambulance with any kind of emergency.
Exactly.
So that's probably just some of the response that they brought. There is another family or so. Look at that. High five from the
police chief.
From the police chief. She seems like she had a pretty good day at school, all things considered, doesn't she? A beautiful smile.
She looks happy. She looks happy, you know, but I'm sure all of those kids, though, will need some kind of counseling and extra support, particularly as they begin to mentally process what happened, and with them being so young, just having a difficult time to be able to answer those questions. Again, those are the council members, Ely, Curtis Bethany, along with the mayor, Philip Jones, there to lend their support to the families. We like to see that. We know that school board members are definitely paying attention to what's going on. Probably there on the scene as well as the sheriff's department and the police department responding, and the superintendent and other administrators.